indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Maybe he thought it was Wednesday.
No comments. Does anybody know what that is? Okay. So, we have approved the consent agenda. And then we have new business. We have our consultant auditor. So, oh, I thought last time we didn't do that. Okay,
Well, all we need to do is if there's no issue with consent.
Okay.
right, that's what I thought we did last time. Okay, so under new business, we have a consultant auditor, and we formed a committee to look at that, and since Matt's not here, Paul, would you like to talk to us? Turn on your mic.
Well, the reason we formed the committee for the possible auditor / consultant was deficiencies that we may have possibly found in some areas in the district, and we feel as a Board of Education we need to look at those deficiencies and see if we can't get some help or figure out a way to correct anything that is possibly wrong. Does anybody else have any comments?
And do you have any recommendations to give us on that?
Matt Cleveland and I have called various consulting firms, and I personally talked to 3 different firms. I talked to 2 in Sedalia. I got their names right here. And I talked to one in Richmond. Matt has talked to a couple, and he talked to one in Springfield. Due to time constraints and how busy these folks are, it will take a while for some of them to get to us, possibly even after the first of the year. And we felt like it shouldn't take that long to get some type of consulting help. So I talked to Wilson Collier in Sedalia. I talked to Moore, MHC, Moore, Horton, and Carlson in Sedalia. And I also talked to Westbrook and Associates in Richmond. After having talked to all 3 of these folks and then listening to what Matt had to say, we decided that we would probably go with Westbrook and Associates in Richmond based on their ability to solve problems and help us as much as they possibly could, and their time constraints on getting here.
Why is it that they can come quicker than anybody else?
Because Mr. Pengilly, they have a large team up there in Richmond. They keep additional staff on reserves, and in the event that districts or church organizations or anybody else needing consulting help, they don't want to lose the business by being too small, so they are big enough to help everybody. I called around and got recommendations on these folks. I tried to get some recommendations on the other companies, but it didn't have very good luck on that. But after having talked to Westbrook and Associates, Diane Klosterman up there at Westbrook and Associates, she assured me that they do a great job. They can look at efficiency, they can look at all kinds of stuff. I talked to the Shawnee Mission School District, Dr. Henson, and Dr. Scott Hurl at the Independent School District, and they had very glowing things to say about these folks and their ability to help different organizations, including schools.
Is this accounting firm, are they limited in anything that they do, or is there any limitations?
No, they have no limitations at all. They came very, very highly recommended. They also came highly recommended from John Gillum in Warrensburg. I had asked him some questions about different districts, and he said that they were extremely busy. They do 4 districts with their firm, and he highly recommended these people also.
Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
So Matt's coming in the building right now,
Well, good.
so he has.
I'd like to hear if Mr. Cleveland has any input on this
He's got
also.
another company, I think he talked to or whatever, so we can wait a couple of minutes or if
Yes.
anybody got any questions to ask Paul. Did you say when this company could start?
It would be sometime early October, first week of October.
And we only have till the 31st.
31st of December, but we can,
December.
but we have our auditor coming in prior to that, and if there are any issues, you can always file an extension with Jesse.
Evening.
That will reflect in your paycheck.
Matt, real quick, I just want to let you know to recap on some things that we had talked about, potential consulting / auditing firms, giving the district some assistance. And I told them that I had talked to 3 and that you and I had communicated back and forth and that you had talked to some also. And I know you're a little bit late, so you can just fill us in on whatever you have to say.
Sure. Well, I just wanted to pass around the extra material that we received from a couple other auditing firms that I talked to, KPM out of Springfield and Cordy Chitwood and Hundley out of Boonville.
Out of where?
Boonville.
Oh,
KPM is actually one that does Waynesville, and they do several others around the state. Corey Chitwood and Hundley do several others around the state as well. But in talking with Paul, honestly, if we look at the material here, KPM isn't going to be unavailable to really help us until November. And Corey Chitwood and Hundley said that they could help us with about 3 days worth of work in September, but didn't know if they could commit past that. So there wasn't really much of a commitment from both of these folks. So, but I did want to provide you the information they provided to me. And honestly, it's just background material on the company, so I don't know if there's too much there you really have questions about.
Do any of these other,
do you have your microphone turned on?
I don't know, I think I ever needed it. Just make it louder.
Maybe for the TV.
Do any of these other teams, or do they have teams with these other ones that you supplied us, or are they individuals that were going to perform
Well,
on?
they're definitely teams that they have. Now, Cordy Chitwood is a small team. That's where I just, it would be a small, I've talked to Fred several times. But definitely that they have a relatively small team. I'm confident that going with Westbrook is probably what we need to do. Paul and I have talked about it several times, and Westbrook's got a large team. I mean, just looking at, we pulled a list of every audit client for the state and for every school district in Missouri, and Westbrook has, over 30 some clients. Most of our conference is done by Westbrook. KPM does a variety. They have about the same amount of clients, but they're mostly located in southwest Missouri. They actually do the town's audit for Don Noster. KPM does, and like I said, they do also do Waynesville, which is another federal programs district, similar to us with the impact aid and all that kind of stuff. They have teams, but they're all busy. This is the wrong time of year to add extra work for most of them. And like I said, on Corey Chitwood, they're a little bit smaller of a company. It seems like to me we would get Fred. That would be the guy. There's several others that do them, but Fred is the main guy. They do a lot of other audits, but his availability was about 3 days in September. And we don't, from what the preliminary discussions that I had with Paul, we didn't think that 3 days was gonna be enough of a commitment to be able to make that work.
So based on what you guys did as a committee, then you're both recommending Westbrook and Company. So I make a motion that we accept Westbrook and Company PC for our audit done here at the school district.
Just to specify, we're asking them to come on as a consultant auditor.
Right.
Now, are they, you said they're coming here to speak to us?
Executive session.
Yes, we'll have a representative here at 7:30. And that will be, I hope I don't butcher this last name. That will be Diane, the lady on the email that I gave you all. Diane Klosterman. Yes. She would have been here earlier, but she's got to talk to a church in Odessa.
Okay, once again, I made a motion that we accept, due to your recommendations, that we accept Westbrook and Company PC as our consulting.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Is there any
Aye.
further discussion, I guess I should say,
Michael?
on this? Are there any questions that anybody has in regards to this? As far as the scope of work and everything, we can discuss that later. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion that we adjourn to executive session. Personnel pursuant to RSMO 610.0213, RSMO 610.0217, RSMO 610.0211, RSMO 610.0217, and under student, RSMO 610.0216 and RSMO 610.02114.
I'll second that.
That means a roll call vote. Matt?
Aye.
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 All right, we're now.
Hey, Matt, can you get the
Yeah.
computer?
Just need that